Hello traders, today is October 9th, 2024. I'm gonna go over 14 different names today. As per usual, please make sure to do your own due diligence, own research before you decide to invest or risk your money in any type of equities or investments. That being said, let's start with Amazon. I'm sorry, Apple. Um, Pretty good day. Yesterday when I was, no, actually a couple of days ago when I was talking about Apple, I was expressing my concern about the fact that we were under support and we were going under this trend line. I didn't report anything on Apple yesterday because I wanted to give it some time and see if this was going to continue going towards 216. Well, the good news is that it came back. It closed yesterday above the 35 SMA, and today had a pretty solid day. Let's go to the 5-minute chart, and you can see it had I'm on the right day right here. So you had a little bit of a pullback. If you can see that probably on the 1 minute, you had a pullback in the beginning of the day, and then let's zoom in a little bit. Where is this? This is good. You had a little bit of a pullback in the beginning of the day, and then you rallied the rest of the day. It was up 1.6%. That was a pretty decent day for the market and for Apple. We're going to talk about NQ later on. But anyways, Apple is looking good. I think if the momentum continues, MACD and TSI are neutral. RSI is also neutral, almost very close to the 50 line. But I do believe that we can continue towards 233. We'll see if this time we can actually break that level. We have been rejected here several times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times if you count every candle. But we can say, at least to be safe, 4 times that this name has tried to break 233 and it actually failed. So we'll see what happens. I do believe that there's momentum towards the end of the week. However, we have data coming tomorrow and Friday. We have CPA and we also have PPI. FOMC minutes went out today, and to be honest, they didn't look too good. However, the market kind of didn't care about it. If you're curious, you can read it. It's public information. Anyways, that's what I have for Apple. Support seems to be a little bit solid at this point, 225, resistance 233. We break 233 and we're gonna do or see new all-time highs. Let's move on to Affirm. And I did have something to say yesterday about Affirm. It was the first ticket that I checked yesterday. We went over the 35 SMA. We actually bounced this whole move on this candle right here, bounced on this low. Now we are over 39.3 resistance. We are over 42.5 resistance. What I was saying yesterday was that the optimal thing for a firm would be to range in this level right here. However, today was pretty strong for them. It was up 5.1%. Let's go down to the 5-minute chart. And you can see that it was a little bit of a sell-off, and then you came back. This is a level at at 42.50, and it broke it, and it respect this level throughout the entire session. I do believe that there is a lot of momentum still for Affirm. Another thing that I believe is, considering the fact that this is a mid-cap company, you still see a lot of momentum. So it just makes me wonder what is going to happen with this, especially with Affirm, when this whole mid caps start rallying. I don't know. It could be quite interesting. Something pretty explosive could happen. But for now, I think the fact that we cool down these indicators right here, everything looks like we actually have momentum towards 45. We break 45 and we're gonna start going towards 52. I think 52 is the next. 51.7 is my next level. So we'll see. We're still a long ways to go there. If you break 45, I do believe that, considering there's a huge lack of liquidity in this area, you're just gonna continue moving up. As long as we don't get too extended, as long as there is not a lot of bad news or anything. At least for now, things are a little bit calm. We'll see what happens towards the end of the week with data, but also with the hurricane that is going to hit Florida. And I heard that there's another one coming towards the south of Florida right after Milton. That would be horrible. Anyways, that's what I have for a firm. It's looking solid so far. 45, your next resistance level. 42.5, your support level. Now I have Amazon. So Amazon is actually looking pretty good. My price target for a rebound was 181. We went actually down to 180.3. So give or take, we were kind of on the money. We are right now over completely mounted on the 35 SMA. That's a good sign. That day, let me take a look, was pretty solid. You had a little bit of, let me go back, because sometimes I get confused with the 5 and, okay. So we were here all the way up. Let's go to the 1 minute and take a look. Yeah, you had this start a little bit choppy in the beginning, but then you continue moving up. This is looking great. Nothing, I see that this is probably going to continue moving towards 190. 200 could come, but for now, let's just worry about the next resistance level, which is 190. I do believe that if we get decent data this week, that's going to move this name. I also believe that if the results for, I think it's Amazon Prime Day or some crap like that, I think that's also going to push this to the upside. So we'll see. But right now, I'm continue feeling bullish on Amazon. I'm sorry, I was looking to another screen. I have some data on some other screen. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's see Bitcoin really quick before. Yeah, I'm not bullish on Bitcoin until we break on 200 SMA, and we're about to go under the 35 SMA. That being said, let's cover Coinbase. And I haven't covered Coinbase in a minute, probably a week or 10 days. Right now, this line right here is the 325 SMA. This right here is a 200 SMA, and this right here is a 35 SMA. The 325 SMA, just for context, there is this one guy, I think he calls himself Banana. I don't remember the profile name, but it's Banana something on X. And he came up with this indicator, which is basically 325 SMA. He didn't create anything, he just put 325 SMA, and it actually works pretty well on the daily chart and the 4-hour chart with extended hours. So if you go here and put extended hours, it actually works in a lot of cases. So that's something to keep an eye on. But this name has been bouncing on the 325 quite often. However, one of the things about Coinbase that I don't like is how dependent, for obvious reasons, it is with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin continues to sell off, I do believe that we're at least gonna go down to the support level at 161 and probably at the same level at 325. If we break both of them, I think you're gonna meet to 130, 136. No question about it. I don't see much momentum on Bitcoin right now. It's actually selling a little bit heavy right now. It's under 61. So don't be surprised. And if you break the 35 SMA on Bitcoin, we're going to continue going down on these names. Not only Coinbase, but you're also can be you're gonna be down on CONL, CLSK. You're gonna go down on Mara. You're gonna go down on Iron, probably Riot, and I mean there's quite a few names that are dependent. Even MicroStrategy that had a pretty nice run. So keep an eye on this. I don't have any close. Well, we can argue. Let's put a level right here, but I like to see if this level relates to anything in the past. Not really. For now, I'm just gonna keep this level at 87 as a resistance, but to be honest, if I would be more concerned about support levels rather than resistance levels. I'm not too bullish on Coinbase. Actually, it's been pretty weak for a while. I mean, since March of this year, so it's had a pretty bad ride, and I don't know. I'm not bullish about coin. And again, it's one of those things that for me is kind of difficult to trade because that relationship that it has with Bitcoin in particular. Anyways, that's what I have for Coinbase, and let's move on to something a little bit more interesting, in my opinion, and that would be that's not alphabetical, but let's do Celsius. And okay, so I've seen a lot of people getting quite excited about Celsius. I'm gonna tell you why. Well, we went up 6.16%. After hours, we are up 2.1%. That is good. It's a total of almost 8.2% for the day. If nothing else happens after hours, we'll see what happens tomorrow before hours. I don't think, for me personally, it's tradable. I'm been hoping that to find a bottom. My bottom price target was 27. It's 26, 92, but it's basically 27. We got very close. If I zoom in at where we are at 28.2. So we're very close to my price target of a bottom. So maybe we're hitting bottom at this point. But we actually saw something very similar here. We had a very nice day that was on September 9th. We were up 4.7%. Then you had this rally towards 35, and then you got rejected again. For me right now, I'm not even getting any type of excitement about Celsius, and I really want to go long on this name, to be honest, until we break at least over the 35 SMA and we see good direction towards 35. If you break 35, then definitely I want to get in. But for now, I'm not going to celebrate anything for Celsius. A lot of people already are calling a bottom and whatnot. They might be right. Who knows? I personally like to be a little more certain before any entries. I want to see a little more confirmation. You have a good pattern here that is, that flags and then comes down again. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 instances. So don't be surprised, and maybe you go towards a 35 SMA or towards 35 or a little bit lower, and then you come down again towards 27 or that area. I think is absolutely oversold. Let's go to the weekly and see how the RSI looks. Yeah, I think this name is been quite abused already. And definitely Celsius is not a bad brand. It has Pepsi-Cola or PepsiCo behind them. They still have some inventory and distribution issues, which the market doesn't like, but volume is coming back in. So we'll see. Just keep an eye on this. I wouldn't get too excited. I guess my point on bringing Celsius Holdings up is not to fall into that type of excitement after you see an 8% day. I'm considering the 6.16 plus the 2.2 for after hours. So I wouldn't get all excited about it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens towards the end of the week. We'll see what happens next week. I want to see this name over the 35 SMA, which is this line right here. And then I want to see momentum, once we approach this low liquidity area, and then see what happens. You had low liquidity here as well, and you continue to go down. So right now, I think it's a little bit premature to suggest, especially on X, that it is time to load Celsius. If you are a long-term investor, if you're buying shares and you want to keep them for who knows how long, 5 years or whatever, 3 years, maybe it's a good time to start loading. Maybe. I'm not telling you to do that. You do what you want to do. But I trade options. If I buy options for this guy, for Celsius, I would probably buy them for April or May. I would give myself that much time because I still a little bit fearful of the situations with Celsius and distribution and inventory issues that they have. I'm not too worried about the brand, and I understand it's oversold, but I still want to wait. Celsius looks interesting. I'm not celebrating anything yet. I want to see this over the 35 SMA and moving with momentum towards 35, 36. That's what I have for Celsius. And let's mention a name that I mentioned yesterday, and I said there was opportunity here. That is CrowdStrike. And I mean, I mentioned this on this day right here, right when we were in support. This was on Monday, September 30th. We are basically 10 days after this call. You had a little bit of a bad day the next day, almost 2% down, and then you actually came back, broke this trend line that I did put on that Monday, and now we're continue going up towards the 200 SMA. That looks great. I do believe that if we continue having momentum, today was up almost 2%, 1.82%. So if we continue going towards this 200 SMA, we break over, we are just gonna fly and fill this gap. The only thing about CrowdStrike is undated call options are quite expensive, between 300 and 2800. So, but other than that, this name actually looks good. So if you are okay with the price of those options, I think there is opportunity here. But again, you do what you do your research, due diligence before you get in. But we're getting close to the 200 SMA. We break that level, I think we're flying. This name is still looking good. It's been moving since August 5th, that one day that we all remember. And now, we're just moving very solid. Let's take a look sorry, I don't want to waste everybody's time, but sometimes I like to see this. This 48% since August 5th. Interesting. That's what I have for CrowdStrike. It's looking solid. I told you yesterday, I told you a few days back, I told you on Monday the 30th. Still moving up. Anyways, let's do Disney. And this name, the only reason why I'm mentioning Disney right now is because a hurricane is coming and it's gonna pass right over Disney facilities, meaning the parks. I did buy some puts, kind of like, and they are not based on any technicals right now, even though we can argue that you got rejected on the 325 SMA. You are bouncing on the 35 SMA. You had a decent day today, 1.20%, 1.2%. But I do believe that if the hurricane does enough damage, this is going to reflect on Disney stock. The parks as of now are closed. We don't know for how long they're going to be closed. We don't know how much damage. Honestly, hopefully there is not a lot of damage. As far as capital damage and human damage, obviously. But I think there is going to be a reflection on what is going to transpire after the hurricane on this name. It was a pretty solid day. My puts are completely flat, and I'm just betting on the fact that Disney might have a little bit of a difficulty reopening parks if the trajectory of the hurricane continues in the same way, and it seems like the hurricane is actually going to pass over some of Disney parks, and that would cause a lot of damage. Anyways, in general terms, again, you're bouncing on the 35 SMA. That's a good sign to the upside, but you also got rejected on the 325 SMA. Your support level right now is 89. Your resistance level right now is at 325 SMA, which is around 95. That's what I have for Disney. Let's move on to, I might spend some time here on, if I can remember the alphabet, HIMS. So I did buy calls on HIMS. My expiration date, and I made a mistake, was it is right now January 17th, and I actually wanted to buy February 20th. I'm okay with this date, January 17th, but I guess I was a little bit too excited, and I got in, and I was a little bit I neglected the fact that I was supposed to pay more attention to those details, and instead of doing February 20th, I ended up buying January 17th. That being said, I'm green already on this calls, but let's take a look at this name. So you actually had a good sell-off in the beginning of the day, and then you came back, mounted this resistance level. You made a support for a minute. We're on the 5-minute chart, and then after that you just went up, and now you're back on support. HIMS was basically flat today, but what I keep liking about it is the fact that buyers keep coming in. So things don't look too good in the beginning, and then buyers come in, and then the stock actually maintains the current trajectory, which is good. We did close this gap a little bit more. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we completely fill it, and then we come back towards 18.7 and towards 21.7 in the future. We have to break this level. We're still right up here, so we're right on the 18.7 level. Now, another thing that I want to mention is that as of now, the short interest for HIMS is 26.5 million shares. That represents basically 16.18% of the float, which is the number of shares available for trading by the public. So there was actually, this is marking a decrease of 5.35% in short interest from last month. Now, the short interest ratio is 3.0, which means that it would take 3 days of the average trading volume of about 8 million shares to cover all short positions. That is absolutely great. What am I mentioning this? I'm mentioning this because that also tells you that institutions don't want to short HIMS because they know it is a better bet to go long on HIMS than actually short it, at least at this point. So again, there was a decrease of 5.35% in short interest, and it would only take 3 days to cover all your shorts, which means that technically speaking, the stock looks healthy. I don't believe, based upon data and information, that institutions want to start going heavy on shorts, but I still think that there is going to be a lot of opportunity going towards 21.7. When we were here, my price target was 1872 or 18.7. Now we're sitting on 1873. So 21.27 or 21.77 is definitely something that should be on our radar. Right now, we just have to really mount this level again, which I don't think it would be an issue. Even if we actually go down towards 17.26, then, I think we're going to continue going towards 18.7 and then towards 21.7. Okay, let's move on to... let's go to... I'm sorry, my cursor was somewhere else. I was pointing at a different... Okay, let's do JMIA. So I covered this, like 3 days ago or something. And what I was saying was that we had to break this level right here, which was resistance at 5.53. And after that, we had to break the 200 SMA, and then you can see a continuation towards 7.20. Well, we did fail and got rejected on the 200 SMA. Now you are between the 35 SMA, the 325 SMA, so all of them are combined, and then you have the 200 SMA. You can still continue moving up. Today was a pretty weak day for JMIA. You were down 6.6%. So we'll see if we rebound on the 35 SMA and the 325 SMA. These two lines are converging right here, and then we'll see if we break 550 with momentum and then continue going towards 719. I think this is still in play. You just have to be a little more patient. We'll see what happens. There's low liquidity here, so for now I would keep an eye on this. I wouldn't rush to jump into this. Still it's looking weak. MACD and TSI are also telling you that story. There is not enough momentum. There's not enough strength. If you look at the TSI, which is a two strength indicator, and the RSI, another strength indicator, is telling you that things are going down. It's actually under the signal line already. So keep that in mind. We'll see what is the reaction of JMIA on these indicators here, the 35 SMA and the 325 SMA. That's what I have for JMIA. Let's move on to, let's cover the market in general, and I'm gonna talk about, if I can find this thing, NQ. So what I said, I think yesterday and the day before, was that we have to go over 20.3 with momentum to actually feel a little bit more bullish. Well, right now we are at 20.4. That's a good thing. We'll see how the reaction is tonight and tomorrow morning, pre-market, and then during the market we'll see what is the reaction of the market after CPI comes, after PPI comes. That is very important, and that's gonna give us, I guess, another indication for direction on the market in the short term. I'm not talking long term here. I'm talking short term. Another thing that happened today, as you can see, NQ was green. SPY hit all-time highs today again. So I do believe that the market really wants to push short term, at least, towards new highs. But I think we need more confirmation. I think that confirmation is going to come from 4 factors: CPI, PPI. So by Friday, we know that. Then we have, what's going to happen in the Middle East. Seems like Israel is taking a little break. So, or things are not as bad as we thought. They're not attacking Iran, at least for now. And then we do also have to see what is going to be the aftermath of the Hurricane Milton and whatever other hurricane that I heard is coming as well. So we have to see what is going to be the result of all that. But at least CPI and PPI by Friday, we're going to know. And that would probably give us a short-term reaction and maybe some quick opportunities to jump into the market. So that's what I have for, I'm not mentioning support, which, okay, support is 19.7. I said that yesterday, but we just have to continue going up and mounting the 20.3 level. Let's move on to, I was looking at this name, and I think I mentioned Snow. Where is Snow? Right here. So Snow, it's moving very nice. Today was up 5.4%, mounting the 35 SMA over or mounting this level at 117.3 or 0.4. And now we are solid into this area, moving towards 122.5. I do believe that if we go over 122.5, we're gonna fill this gap. There is opportunity here for sure. MACD and TSI are looking bullish. RSI is also looking bullish. Tomorrow, I don't think we're going to have another 5% day. We might have whatever after data, but we might have a little of a cool down and then a continuation to the upside. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But seems like Snow can have very nice reactions, as you can see here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Also to the downside. So Snow tends to move consistently in one direction or the other. I love the fact that this was in range for a while, basically since the end of August till today, until today. And when you see these kind of things, you can see a lot of traders like to trade these kind of setups. You have this consolidation right here, and then the next momentum comes with a lot of power or a lot of direction to one side or the other. In this case, we're going up. So 122.5 is a next price target for Snow. I think there's opportunity here. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I might actually jump on this because I love this type of setups, which are a consolidation and then a breakout of it. So we are moving up, obviously, and MACD, TSI, RSI, these helpful indicators are looking pretty good. That's what I have for Snow. Let's move on to, I think I was gonna mention SOFI. So let's do SOFI. And look at this. So you have this trend line right here that goes back to August of 2023. So it's over a year, almost 14 months since then. It is continuing going down, but now you're finally over the 200 SMA. You're finally over the 325 SMA, and forget about the 35 SMA. So you're breaking this. We'll see if we're going to retest here and then continue going up. I do believe that we might have something in our hands here. It is crucial for this name to either retest or mount this level at 8.75 for a continuation. But I think it's very positive, the fact that you're seeing this trend line being broken in the last 4 trading days, counting today. So a retest might be actually optimal for a continuation to the upside. But I think if CPI comes in line or or cold, we might see a continuation here. This name tends to move with volatility as well. So sometimes, or quite often, you actually see these nice big candles, and then you get a nice profit out of it. I traded SOFI in the past, and it was profitable. But again, I guess the risk of it is how quickly it could move in one direction or the other, meaning in the sense of you get very strong candles to the downside, for example, like this, or you also get very strong candles to the upside, like what you're seeing here. Anyways, up to date 2.14%. We're approaching 875. That looks good. I think your support level is this trend line. Your resistance level is obviously what I just mentioned, 875. Let's move on to the next name, and that is, oh, okay. I'm gonna do Tesla. So tomorrow is an important day for Tesla. Tomorrow is October 10th. Tesla was down 1.4% today. I think for Tesla not to go down to 225, it has to have a flawless presentation tomorrow. They have to come up with something new, something that is going to tell the market, we're going to make money here, hand over fist. And if that doesn't really happen, I think we're not, forget about 233 or 234. I think we're going down to 225, and that continuation is going to happen towards at least this area right here. On the by two, you're going to get close to 220, or worst case scenario, you're going down to 200. So what I'm starting to think here is tomorrow is going to be sink or swim as far as what we see on the price, not for the company, but what we see on the stock price. I think if tomorrow is not as good as what the market and everybody's expecting, that's a problem. Everybody's expecting a spectacular day tomorrow on this presentation. I think if nothing really happens, I do believe, or nothing important really comes out of it, I do believe that the market is going to have a really negative reaction, and we're going to go down towards 200, honestly. But I think if they have a flawless day, they present something outstanding, FSD for semis, FSD for Cybertruck, and then the robotaxi, and really give you a good roadmap of how we're going to be profitable with those products, I think we're going to go up to 300. I'm not kidding. I think we would probably break this 265 level, which has been, pretty difficult, and then we're just gonna keep moving. But what you need to have is an amazing day for a robotaxi day. Unfortunately, a lot of these presentations from Tesla, to be honest, are not the best. They are more of rumors and that sort of stuff, and the market, is always going to react negatively into that. But let's cross our fingers and think that Tesla is going to come up with something outstanding, something that is going to really prove that the product or the brand is going to generate additional profits and revenue. And then from there, I think if that actually happens, we're going to 300 price target, in my opinion. But I guess my range right now, based upon this event, is 300 to 200. I think it's that dramatic. You can criticize what I'm saying all you want, but I do believe that we're going to see a very explosive reaction either direction tomorrow. So I'm a Tesla holder. I really hope that something really cool comes out of this. And I would love to see this at 300. I would be jumping on one leg if that happens. I would love to see some new products, something really new that is coming on a schedule or something like that. And then, you know, I would be super happy. But if it's a failure of an event, then 200 is coming, and we're all gonna be sad. Well, that's what I have for Tesla, and then I have one last name, which is XLF. And why am I mentioning this? JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup, and I think Wells Fargo, they were all green today. They were moving very solid in addition to other institutions in this sector, in the financial sector. This XLF is an ETF for the for the financial sector. So you have this ascending triangle here, is consolidating here. You don't see a lot of red sometimes. You see fake outs on ascending triangles when you see like red volume coming here and then you come down. But in this case, you're actually seeing a pretty nice momentum to the upside, which is indicating that we might break this 45.7 level and continue going into new highs. So we'll see what happens. We're also surfing on the 35 SMA. That's also a good sign. MACD and TSI are looking bullish so far. RSI is also looking up and is crossing the signal line already. So that is a good thing. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But I think if you break 45.7, you are going to have another run from XLF from the entire sector. It's looking pretty decent. Let's go back before I finish the video. Let's go back to Bank of America, because I just thought about this chart and it was looking a little bit consolidated as far as I remember. And let's see how it's behaving. Yeah, you're in range between 38.4 and 40. So yeah, there might be opportunity to trade, at least for me, to trade Bank of America. I'm familiar with this name. I like to trade it. You're also here. You can argue that you might have an ascending triangle here, and there is a little bit of volume coming in. So anyways, XLF, keep it in your list. Keep an eye on this. It's looking good. Hopefully you remember these charts, or you take screenshots or whatever, do something with them. Anyways, that's all I have. Visit us at X. It's the same name of the channel on X. The link is in the description. Subscribe and like that video. I would really appreciate that. Okay, traders, bye bye.